Hello, and after a brief hiatus, I have returned to my neck of the woods. Sorry I haven't posted in a little bit. It's been technical issues on my end. Today's going to be kind of a short video because I don't really have a lot to say. There are so many people who have talked about the 300 movie and Zack Snyder's thing and how it's such a great comic book movie. And yeah, for a lot of it, both the comic and the movie are very similar. There are minor detail differences here and there. Everybody talks about the cast and the look of the film, and I honestly think like this movie helped to give this stigma of how actors and or actresses in comic book movies or whatever should look. It's not one necessarily that I subscribe to, but also there is this whole epidemic of the alpha male, the alpha bro, the gym bro. Oh, this is how a man should behave. In my honest take and opinion, this comes from a lot from this movie. There is this whole thing of Leonidas is this magnificent king who leads these people to great through these hard times and his glory, and they throw some homophobic jokes in the movie, and things like that. And that's what I wanted. I didn't really have an idea about what I want to talk about when I went in to make this video. It's more just what this movie has done to certain things, because it is a hyper serialized version of hyper masculinity, how men quote unquote should behave. And even in the comic, not just the movie itself, the comic itself ignored so much of not just Spartan history, but Greek history. There are so many queer relationships in Greek history, and the Spartans were not, above that. Like, literally, one of the things was when they took their men out into war, to training, they encouraged the men to sleep together to form a tighter bond, a tighter, unit for their army. But also, like, Sparta wasn't a free Greek state. Like, they had slaves. They had, multiple kings plus slaves doing most of their work. Like, the Sparta is glorified in this comic book, in this movie, is definitely cherry-picked representation of this old Greek empire that, in a way, it was their own fault that Sparta does not exist, because they refused to grow. They refused to change when the time was changing. And this movie kind of does the same thing. It took a mediocre director, gave him a bigger budget, let him, all the things he's known for, that Zack Snyder is known for now, started with this movie. And it is a good movie. Yeah, I enjoy 300. I enjoy the comic book. But I enjoy it with a mindset of, I know this is such a alpha bro take on this story and this history and this culture, and it is ridiculous notion to think about. Like, people believe this is, mediocre director has such this, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Penchant for getting all these male characters right, when he gets some so very wrong. And some of it with 300, he didn't write this. I don't remember if he did or not, or helped write it. Frank Miller, definitely big influence on that. But then we move into movies like Watchmen and stuff, and it's to show you how much of a chud Zack Snyder is. And he took the two biggest piece of shit characters in Watchmen and made a lot of guys watching that movie think, oh, these two guys are awesome. I want to be just like them. I want to act just like them. He made the comedian and Rorschach likable characters that people started looking up to, when in the comic book, Rorschach is a fucking like racist and homophobe, and the comedian is worse. But they get glorified in the movie because it's Zack Snyder. He does kind of the same thing in this movie here, and it's ridiculous to think how much people forget, or how many people choose to ignore the real history of Sparta in favor of this glorified, hyper stylized, hyper masculine take on it. And I don't know. I feel like the whole thing is ridiculous. And for some reason, I thought about this and I needed to get off my chest. That's what I'm doing now. I will return probably Thursday with another video and some more ranting and raving. But until then, be good to yourselves and stay punk rock.